Hawks closed out gather round last year as well against Collingwood. I was leaving. My flight was at like probably this time at gather round as the game was closing out. And I was like on my phone in the airport, like all the gather round stuff was up. And that's when they were 0-5 and just narrowly lost to Collingwood.
That's right. They started terribly.
So for all this talk about, you're very not hot on the D's at the moment, Dill. You're in fact...
Oh, no, I'm not having this.
What is it? Lamb to the slaughter or kick 'em while it's down?
Nah, I'm not having this about Melbourne.
Well,
any team right now, this is happening, all my videos I'm making at the moment, any team that's down, everyone's saying you basically can't say anything bad about them because look at Hawthorn last year.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the same thing. It's a completely different set of circumstances.
Well, how can you put a line through a team when 12 months ago you would have put a line through Hawthorn?
Well, yeah, you would have.
Yeah, and then they bounce back. So you've got to give them the benefit of time.
But also a lot of teams, like if you had said the same thing about North Melbourne last year, they were cooked.
Yeah, but North Melbourne have always been dog shit, so it's different.
Well, Melbourne...
Okay, Mr. Never Won a Flag. Yes.
Yes.
All right, I was going to my show now. You guys keep talking.
The issue with Melbourne is I think there's a lot of issues and unrest off the field.
Yes.
And that after our game...
Melbourne have off-field issues now?
Yes.
Disagree.
Okay, tell me what you think of this then. Simon Goodwin in his press conference after the D's lost to North came out and basically threw Max Gawn under the bus and said that Max Gawn's clearly dealing with some off-field issues that might have been personal.
He shouldn't have made those comments.
Free kick Moraes.
But he was probably protecting his player because they were talking why was he bad? And it's sometimes there's things bigger than football. It's not off-field issues.
I think he's got to find a better way. I feel like he just left Max Gawn exposed. I feel like Max Gawn's been the fall guy for every issue that Melbourne's had off-field for the last 8 months. And then how does Simon Goodwin repay him? By just throwing him straight to the Wolves.
Yeah.
He has to do better to protect his players. I just feel like there's a bit of disconnect.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's a disconnect.
They mentioned something on the in the post-game the other night about the Petracca issue. So you don't think that's still anything bubbling away with that?
I think Petracca has become bigger than the Melbourne Football Club. I think he's like David Beckham at United type thing where his brand has grown so big and they had that. He had that traumatic injury last year. Finn McGuinness signing up for go on his 50th career
He's
game
your boy.
as we speak. Who, Finn McGuinness?
You love him, don't you?
Not after that,
with
you
that
wouldn't.
kick, yeah. Speaking to D's fans, I think they're pretty keen to move on Petracca because he has become bigger than the club. He's probably got more value than anyone at the club. So if they are to go to the draft before Tassie come in, that makes sense. But I don't think that culture is what's up for question right now. I don't really know how to pinpoint what it is, but it's round one, they were a kick away from beating GWS. Gold Coast, good side.
Surely you can't make they're playing decent footy argument. The argument, sorry to cut in here. The argument I would make on this, the issue with their football is 4 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So how's that?
I don't think that
Goody
they're
keeps saying
well.
It's going to turn. It's going to turn. What's going to turn?
Well, I just wouldn't put a line through them yet.
They'll win a game.
Yeah, they'll get the new coach bounce.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I thought they'd finish.
I like that.
I thought they'd. I don't think Simon Goodwin should be sacked either. I think that's a terrible thing to do.
Really?
They have no structure at the top of their club at the moment. They don't have a CEO. Some of their most experienced players are like Petracca, are looking at the possibility of leaving. Viney's out of form. And then you go and sack your most senior guy that's a premiership coach that has provided so much. What does that do?
Do you know what it reminds me of?
But what does that...
It reminds me of the Bulldogs in 2014 or 15.
Dang.
Oh, after the 16 flag. Massive goal there from the Bergmeister.
Not after 13, 14.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
When the Dogs were at this crossroads, they lost Ryan Griffin. Their captain went to GWS. They sacked their coach. Yeah. They got David Smorgan left. The entire club pretty much fell apart. Bevo comes in. They were able to attract a few players and they, whatever it was, 12, 24 months later, went and won the premiership.
I agree with you. I reckon there's a bit of a malaise in the AFL where there's this idea that being stable is always better. And that's keeping the people that you already have is always better than change.
I think Goodwin should see out the year, at least.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, provide that stability. They're gonna be a hard team to play for this year. The D's. Don't get me wrong.
How do you reckon players like Caleb Windsor, Trent Rivers, those guys that look like they were going to be stepping up into the midfield, how are they feeling right now?
Yeah, the concerning thing is players like Luke Jackson have left, Cozzy Pickett's looking at leaving. Like that young crop of players that they drafted that won that flag are now sort of looking at leaving.
Yeah.
I just think...
Do you think that's cultural though, when you defend the culture?
I don't think it's an issue with the cohesion of the team. And funnily enough, probably shouldn't be saying this, but I met the other night working at the pub I work at, Ben Crow, who's like the performance psychologist. Like he's like one of the best in the world, and he's working at the D's right now. And he's like, the confidence is there between the players. Oh my God. He almost hit a Tunana. Yeah, he basically said like, this has been the easiest team that he's worked with in terms of like, they're all a unit type thing. So I don't think that's the issue. I think the main issue with the D's is that they train out at Casey 2 days a week. They train up in Melbourne 2 days a week. Some of their club's offices are at the G. Some of them are at Amy Park. It's just like there's a disconnect between the whole club. And yeah, I don't know. Their footy is a little bit outdated at this point. Like, I'm not saying keep Goodwin. I think they would be better to go in a different direction pretty soon, because I feel like some of their older players like Viney, he's particularly been struggling this year, but like Bailey Fritsch and these guys, like they're almost molded into playing the game plan that gave them success for so long. Yeah. But it's
done.
Well, yeah, but they still try to play that old way. It's like they draw back on that. And then you've got young players like Windsor and Langford that are playing the way that Goody's trying to bring it across.
But then at the same time, Goody's not fully trusting those guys either. Like like Rivers, he was in last year when there were the injuries to your Olivers and your Petraccas, and he hasn't really trusted them. Like Rivers has gone back to halfback.
I don't think it's not that he doesn't trust Rivers to play that position. It's that he doesn't trust anyone to play the halfback role. I think it's more that way. It's like you can't take... It's like the Swans sending McCartan back. It's like, it's not that we don't trust you to play that forward role or... Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you. With as far as like, if you did say like take away the blame to Goodwin and you go back onto the club, do you think that like, I feel like we've been talking about Melbourne here for a while, but do you think the fact that they didn't get on top of moving on an Oliver or Petracca when they actually had capital? Because I look at a Petracca 12 months on, he's obviously still got value, but it feels like it's less now.
I think Oliver has had a really good start to the year though.
Oliver.
Yeah, I think they both. I think they both still have the same value as they did 12 months ago.
The same.
Yeah, why not?
Well, they're a year older.
Yeah.
For starters, I don't know. I would have thought you would have wanted to see potentially a little bit more from them. Probably more Petracca on the form thing.
Petracca's been shocking.
Yeah. Oliver's been fine, really. Oliver just is doing what he usually does.
I think Oliver's had a really good,
a
really good opening few rounds.
Yep.
But yeah, they've just got holes in their side. Like Marcus has just commented they've put too much pressure on Van Rooyen, being their number one tall, and their scoring troubles have taken a hit. Like he cops so much flack. And at the end of the day, their premiership winning forward line wasn't even that good. Like Bailey Fritsch kicked 7 on the grand final day. Like
he was massive.
They had plenty of goals from Oliver and Petracca and Brayshaw out of the middle.
Yeah.
Their forward line's never been that good. So yeah, I'm sort of, you're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are. I thought the D's could have made a push for the top 8 this year. But yeah, it's not looking that way. Viney, who was their BNF winner last year, has been terrible this season.
I don't understand how you keep playing a Viney in that midfield when you've got a Rivers or a Windsor there. But that's Melbourne.
Tough times for the D's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking